Hi guys, my name is Sierra. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I am currently a nursing student and, sorry, one second. I am currently a nursing student and I am on summer break. I just want to apologize in advance for all the loud noises that you hear. I wanted to film outside because it's so beautiful out, but it is a little noisy with the cars and the wind and then camper's name tag. Killer. Anyways, hi, I hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing and enjoying your summer. Camper! Oh my gosh, this might not work. I gotta go get him. Okay, sorry about that. He was wandering around and the last time that I let him do that, well, it resulted in basically 2 baths and me cutting his fur for 2 hours because he had a bunch of little stickers in his hair. So we're not gonna let that happen again. Not today, not on my watch. As I was saying, I wanted to put together this video of things that you should know before starting nursing school, things that I wish I knew before starting nursing school, and just a little bit of advice from a current nursing student and tips and things that I think that would be helpful. I have my notebook right here and I actually have a list, so it's gonna be juicy. Everything I wrote down, I really sat and thought about it, and I wish I would have known some of these things prior to starting school, and I hope you take as much as you can out of this video. Okay, let's get started. First of all, you should be insanely proud of yourself for getting to this point, because it is absolutely not easy. Taking all of your prerequisite courses and doing your volunteer work, working as a CNA, EMT, MA, various healthcare positions to get hours, and many other things that you do to help you get into nursing school. Literally just take a second and give yourself a pat on the back and just be proud of yourself, because you made it, you are here. Secondly, if you haven't started school yet and you're going to be starting school soon, I highly suggest that you take advantage of this time and really enjoy your freedom, enjoy your spare time that you can spend with your friends, your family, spend them on your hobbies, and just enjoy yourself, because these moments of freedom are very few and far between. Once you begin school, you're going to be very busy, and I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm just being realistic with you that you should really enjoy all the free time that you have right now and make the most of it. Next, I really recommend brushing up on A&P. I know that when I applied for nursing school and got accepted and started, it had been a little over a year since I had actually taken an anatomy and physiology class, and I know it's been longer for some people in my class and shorter for some people. You know, it's kind of subjective to the individual. But if anatomy and physiology was taken, you know, several months ago, years ago, it does not hurt to go over all of your A&P, all of your chapters, study the body systems, just get like a little refresher course, because all of it is going to come back and haunt you. It's gonna get a lot more intense with pathophysiology. So I really suggest, if you have the time, watch some YouTube videos, pull out your old textbook, your old study guide, notes, etc., whatever worked for you, and just look over it, because you have the time to do so right now, and it's going to do nothing but help you and better you as a nursing student. Next, this is so stinking important, and it is get stuff done before starting school. So prior to your start date, if you have specific tasks that you know you need to complete and accomplish, such as getting the oil changed in your vehicle, or going through all of the clothes in your house and doing some deep cleaning, or cleaning out your computer and deleting files and filling up space, or I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, it's going to be really helpful to get it completed before you start school, because you don't want to add any extra stress to yourself when you begin school, because you're going to have a lot on your plate, and so anything you can do to minimize that will really work in your favor. Speaking of getting stuff done before you start school, I would like to ask you if you're planning on working while you're in school, and you should really think about that decision. I work part-time as a nanny and it's been extremely wonderful. They have been so flexible and the family I work for is amazing. But I know that is probably not always going to be the case for some people. I mean, especially depending on your various backgrounds. If you have a family of your own, if you have kids, your expenses and different things like that. So if you have the opportunity to talk to upperclassmen that have gone through the program that you got accepted to, speak to them and get their opinion. If you have the opportunity to look at your schedule and see how heavy your load is, really take that into account and see what you're able to do and make the best decision for yourself, because ultimately you're wanting to succeed and this is going to be your career. So you want to get everything that you can out of it because you will be using these tools to help other people, and it's really important to allow yourself enough time to focus on school. Now I want to remind you that it is no longer a competition. You have officially made it. You've got accepted into a program, so don't treat it like a competition. You guys are all here. You are all equal. There will be people coming in with different backgrounds, people that have CNA experience, EMT experience, MA experience, other things like that. You know, don't compare yourself. They're here with you and you guys are all equal. And if you can gain knowledge and tips and tricks from them, I highly recommend that. Everybody wants everybody to succeed and do good, and it's amazing how much you can learn from others. Now I want to mention that everything that I am informing you guys about is, you know, based on my own personal experience in the program that I am in. So it's really important, obviously, to read your student handbook and see the different policies and rules and regulations that your nursing program follows. This includes being aware of the dress code, aware of, you know, nail polish and earrings. I know some people have commented on my video that I'm so lucky that I can wear nail polish to school, and yeah, we are actually allowed to. We're not allowed to have like acrylics or anything like that, but they obviously have to be in really good shape. I don't know if other schools are like this, but we're actually only allowed to have like one pair of earrings in. So if I have this little hoop on, I can't have any more earrings. So just be familiar with your school's policies and know that every school is different. That's just how it is. But a lot of them are pretty similar. So leading up to you starting school, don't be nervous about making friends or meeting new people. If you don't know anybody, I promise you, it'll all work out. You are a group of people that are all interested in the same career. You are like-minded, you are hard workers, and you guys are all thrown together in this intense coursework and crazy situations. You will make friends, you'll make really strong bonds and connections with people, and you know, at the end of the day, they might be the only ones that really understand what you're going through when you're stressed out with your exams and things like that. So don't worry about making friends, don't worry about feeling silly. I just can reflect and think back to when my clinical group and I first started, and then how we are at the end of my first year. We were all so just like, I don't know the word, rusty with each other, like all kind of shy and weird and nervous, because you have to practice various skills. Like you have to learn how to transfer patients to a wheelchair or a commode. You have to learn how to feed patients, and you're doing it with your classmates. So you get really comfortable really quickly. Don't feel nervous, don't feel shy, don't feel silly. You guys are all here together in this together. So just a quick reminder. Next, this might be the biggest, best tip I can give you to really truly succeed, and that is to stay organized. Get yourself a planner. If you don't have one, I don't care, you need one. Like, you can't, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. When you start your classes and you get your syllabus, write down the due dates for everything. Keep everything organized, because I'm telling you, and I've mentioned this before, there's going to be that one time where maybe you missed a due date or you weren't paying attention, the teacher switched it up on you. That can happen because they want you to pay attention, because it's all about detail in nursing, and you miss an assignment and you miss out on those points, and every single point matters, and you're gonna be beating yourself up over it. So save yourself the trouble and time and just get organized. You have to be, you know. You have school and you have your own personal life and you have your own appointments and maybe work and all these things going on. You really need to be organized. It's only gonna help you out. And on that note, when you get a planner, I suggest getting a couple more items. I recently made a nursing school essentials haul, and that's just all my favorite items, the things that I've used the most thus far in school that I've felt to be really beneficial, and I can have that video linked down below and up here. I really suggest buying the Saunders NCLEX book ahead of time. Start utilizing that book and start reading it, and even if you aren't familiar with some of the words, look them up. Just get familiar with it because that book is absolutely amazing. What else do I have on here? Oh, I have a clipboard I suggest in my video that I love. It folds in half, it fits into your scrub pocket. It has like little cheat sheets on it with lab values and various things. And then mini Sharpie pen and highlighter that I mentioned in the video as well. I sell them in my Etsy shop, which will be linked down below, but they attach to your badge reel and it's just really convenient. You never lose your pen, Sharpie, or highlighter. You don't have an RN getting onto you about it. Don't be like me. And it's just convenient, to be real. What else? Oh, comfortable shoes. Like, I know you probably want to look cute, but you probably do have a uniform. And at the end of the day, what matters is when you're on the floor for 12 hours, you want to be comfortable. I'm telling you, if you're uncomfortable, it's just not going to be a fun clinical day. So comfortable shoes, good socks, really, really important. Going back to the student handbook and the policies, it's very important that you're aware of the grading scale. The grading scales change in nursing school, and what may be an A, B, or C that you've experienced up until this point in your other college classes is not the same in nursing school. I know some schools below an 80 is failing. For my program, it is a 92 to 100. I believe that's an A, but anything below a 75, that's what I remember, is failing, actually. So the whole saying of C's get degrees, it doesn't necessarily apply in this situation, so you really need to be aware of that. And on that note, you know, it's really nice to really do well in the beginning of your semester or quarter or term, so you're not freaking out at the end when you have that last exam and you're so dependent upon those points that you're worried about passing or failing the class. So it's just really important to hit the ground running, not get behind. Once you get behind, it snowballs, and it's not good. It's just not gonna be good. Okay, so I also have on here, utilize all resources, meaning, hello, we have the internet. We are so fortunate. We have access to anything at our fingertips. YouTube, there's so many great videos and resources we have online for free, Quizlets, various websites that you can create accounts for and practice questions. You have your textbooks, you have your professors, you have everything at your fingertips. So it's important to decipher what works best for you. And what I mean by that is your studying is probably going to have to change. Whatever study methods you've maybe used before in your prerequisites in high school, it's probably not going to work in nursing school. And I say that because it didn't work for me, and I know it hasn't worked for a lot of the people I know. For example, you get so much assigned reading, and while reading is obviously very important, if you have a hard time retaining information, because you might, when you get assigned 15, 16 chapters per week, it's really hard to just read out of a book and take notes and really grasp it. So figure out what works for you. If it's watching videos and visually seeing things, if it's practicing questions, which I know is like a huge thing for me and a lot of my classmates. The best way that I have learned to study, on a side note, I do plan on making a whole video about how I've studied and what really works, but I'm giving it to you right now. The best way is practicing questions, practicing NCLEX style questions, because these are like no other. There's a question and then you have 5 answers, right? And they're all right, but the question says which one is the most right. They're very tricky. You have to read every single word. You really got to break it down. By practicing questions over and over, you learn how to maneuver them. And NCLEX style questions usually give you the rationale after them. So if you get something wrong, you are able to see why it's right or wrong, which, hello, like, that is so stinking helpful. So That's my biggest tip. Practice questions. Find good Quizlets. Sign up for websites. Your school should have a lot of resources available. There's so much available. Ultimately, you have a limited amount of time to prepare for your quizzes and the tests and exams, and the goal is to study smarter, not harder. You don't want to make things more difficult for yourself, or you're just going to stress yourself out more, and just don't do that to yourself, okay? Just take my word for it. Don't do it. So once you begin school, hopefully you have this little bit of buffer time to kind of figure out what studying methods work for you. At the beginning of my term, we only took one class. It was a fundamentals of nursing class, and it actually seemed like a lot, but looking back on it, it was not compared to my other 2 terms. But we were really able to figure out what works for us. And I mean, on that note too, every professor that you encounter, every clinical instructor, they're going to have different styles of teaching, different expectations, so you do kind of have to cultivate your learning around their teaching methods and their testing too. On that note, I'm just gonna give it to you straight. Nursing school is stressful. I would honestly have to say that the past year that I've been in school has probably been the most stressful time of my life. Granted, I don't have any kids or anything like that, but I've had periods where I've had 2 jobs full-time and I'm in college, and I feel like I know what it means to be stressed, but this takes it to a whole other level because there's so much on the line, because you want it so badly and this is going to be your career and you need to succeed, and it can get really, really stressful. That's why it's really, really important, which I keep saying about every single one of these, that you carve out time for yourself. Like, you can't skip that. You need to learn how to decompress, what things that you need. That's taking a bubble bath a couple times a week, having a little bit of wine, exercising, going to the gym, taking your dog on a walk, watching reality TV, I don't know, whatever allows you to decompress, whatever is a healthy way to spend some time alone and take care of yourself. And it's just, I can't honestly stress it enough. You're going to be so busy, and it's so important that you really get familiar with time management. And what I mean by that is, don't overcommit yourself to things, because you're going to drain yourself out. Really, you can't feel guilty if you have an exam in a couple days and it's the weekend and it's a family get-together, or it's a friend's birthday party, or a group of you guys are going rafting, or whatever it is that you're doing, and you know it's really not a good idea for you to go because you need to be studying. Don't feel guilty for that. It's not just you that is going to miss out on activities I know you wish you could be doing, but it's only temporary. You just have to get through this little hump, and then you will be graduated, and then you'll be working maybe only 3 days a week. Just think about it, okay? It's just temporary. Please, you know that there's gonna be times when you are missing out on some of the fun stuff, and it might be hard because you have other friends that are in college right now, and maybe they're, I don't like to say it like this, but maybe their degrees that they're pursuing aren't as necessarily time consuming, and their grading scale is different. So try not to compare and just think about the end game, but also enjoy the process too, because this is where you're at. So don't just look at it as like, I just gotta get through this, oh my gosh. Like, try to enjoy it, because this is the now. This is what's happening right now, and you're going to look back on this and you're going to be so stinking proud of yourself. The point of that is to carve out time for yourself, self-care. If you can't, I mean, you have to take care of yourself to succeed in school. If you're not taking care of your health, not in fulfilling relationships and other things like that, it's going to be really difficult when you're in school. It's going to be really hard. When you have your planner and you're planning out your day and the time that you're allotting to studying and other things, give yourself that time and don't feel guilty. But also, be smart. I feel like I'm like contradicting everything I'm saying. I'm not trying to. It could just be really overwhelming. And on that note, don't cram. You know what I mean? When you have an exam the next day and you stay up until like 2 in the morning studying, and then you wake up at like 4 in the morning and study a little bit more. That worked for me. That worked for me throughout almost all my prerequisites. I had a great time doing that, okay? It's not gonna cut it in nursing school. It's just not. It's a really, really horrible way to retain information because you're not gonna retain it, and you're paying for this education, and this is going to be your career, so you need to know this information. I understand if you're in an elective class that you don't really care about and you just kind of need to get it done with, you do you. But cramming is not going to work for this, especially with how hard the exams can be. Pathophysiology specifically, it's going to take time. It's so much better to take a little bit of time out of each day and put towards studying for something, because your brain is going to be refreshed. You're going to retain it more. You're not going to be so overwhelmed when exams come up. And yeah, I mean, that's all I really have to say. Cramming is a no-no. You won't pass. It won't work. It's not going to work. So sorry to be the bearer of bad news. I know this video is getting kind of long, but I just have a couple more and I'm saving the best for last. So stay tuned. Check your work before you submit it, okay? I had an incident happen. Basically, you have a lot of assignments that are due, especially if you're in like 3 classes at once. It's really important that once you submit a document, you go back and look at it and make sure it's the correct document, that you didn't click the wrong file, because it's not going to be good. It could be looked at as plagiarism. You could get in trouble. You could get a 0. You don't want any of that. And really, ultimately, as a nurse, we should be double checking everything. So check your work before you submit it. Save yourself some trouble. Save your grade. Just be a good student. Don't take a shortcut. I remember one of our instructors, I love that she said this. I will always remember this. She was referring to nursing school and how on our clinical days, you know, we're going to be shadowing different nurses, and there's shortcuts that we're going to see a lot of them do, and not to do those shortcuts. Because basically she said if a shortcut was the right way, it would be the right way. There's a reason that it's a shortcut. There's something there that's not quite right. So always double check your work. Always, always, always. I'm gonna drill that in your head, but seriously. Next, when you start doing your clinical rotations, whether they be at nursing facilities, the hospital, outpatient clinics, in the community, stuff like that, always treat every experience you have kind of like a job interview. You truly never know who you're gonna meet. You never know what's going to happen. You never know who's watching you. They all talk. It's a really small community, and I would just treat everything as professionally as you can, because you're trying to have a career in this field. If I have officially stressed you out by now, I want to apologize, but I also want to say, don't get discouraged by things that happen. You might have a bad test day because you have things going on in your personal life, you know, or you might just have a bad test day because that test was a hell of a lot harder than you were expecting, and oh my gosh, you're freaking out. You're not alone, okay? You might have a bad clinical day where maybe you have a really uncomfortable patient interaction, or you're not really vibing. I hate that. I can't believe I just said that. You're not really getting along well with the RN, and there's just some people that you mesh well together with, and there's some people that you don't. Or you have a really sad clinical day and you lose a patient, or you see something that's really heartbreaking, and you know, don't let it discourage you, okay? You're not alone in this. Everybody is going through this with you. Everybody is going to understand, and that's why you have your classmates, your peers to really lean on when you want to talk about things with. It's really important that, you know, you are able to let things off your chest, not let them just sit in you, because I feel like that's how people get burnt out. I mean, and adding on to that, it's really important to just take school day by day. Making your planner, and you're seeing all these assignments that are due and all these exams that you have, and oh, it's overwhelming, let me tell you. But if you look at it like that, then you're just gonna be freaking out and you're gonna feel like you have so much to do. And I'm telling you, just take it day by day. What do you need to focus on now? What can you spend your time doing today that's going to get you to this point? And take some deep breaths and just remember how far you've come, okay? Day by day, moment by moment. And lastly, my biggest tip would be to stay inspired. Throughout school, it's going to be tough. It's definitely not easy, my God. And you know, you might cry a couple times. I'm just being honest with you guys. I'm not trying to talk about this so negatively. I literally have had such an amazing experience, but it's not been easy, and I'm not gonna lie about that. It's not been rainbows and butterflies. It has been a lot, and I just want you to always remember to stay inspired. Remember why you chose this profession, whether that be helping people, learning about the human body. You know, remember why you are here, and remember school is only temporary. And once you graduate and pass the NCLEX, there's so many things that you can do. So if you don't like the med-surg floor and you have clinical rotations on it, don't get discouraged by that. That's not where you have to be. If you spend days in the ICU or the ER and you don't like that, don't get discouraged. You could literally work at a dialysis center. You could work at a plastic surgery office. You could do home health. You could do case management. There's so many options, things that I don't even know about, and you have like the world at your fingertips. So stay inspired, remember why you are here, and know that I appreciate you going through school, putting so much on the line, literally like your blood, sweat, and tears, and everybody appreciates you. Being a healthcare worker, it's such an amazing thing that, you know, we choose to do. So that wraps up my list, and yeah, I just want to say I am so excited for you if you are starting school soon. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be the best time of your life. It's going to be the best time ever. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope it was insightful and beneficial, and if you have any questions for me, please comment them down below. I'm so happy to answer them. And yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate all your love and support, your kind words, all the orders I received from you guys from my Etsy shop. It's been so sweet and fun to do. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Bye. You guys, literally, look how big he is. Dude, you guys see this? He's a freaking log. What am I supposed to do with this? Barely hold him.